Happy coffee talk. It's Monday and it is the beginning of a really amazing week here. My team is all getting in the next like 2 days because Wednesday and Thursday we have fitme team training. It's an annual thing that we've done and the team has grown. And so we've got about 20 people coming in who are between coaches and support team who are coming to Washington State for fitme training. And then Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday is our fitme weekend event here in Washington. And so I cannot wait. It's going to be a big week. And honestly, this knowing the big week is ahead made this morning very intentional because today is packed busy. And so I even have these little Post-its next to me right now of the 10 things that I needed to do this morning before 9 a.m. And I'm just like crossing them off the list. But I'm excited. You can tell. So let me show you my coffee and then we're going to talk about our coffee talk message for today. So it looks like I matched it with my shirt. I did not do that on purpose. I'm wearing sort of like an army green crew neck sweatshirt. And then my coffee cup I got at Annapolis Pottery for the Fit Me Maryland event. And it's like a dark brown and tan and it's got blue marks in it. It's gorgeous. One of my favorite things about this mug is how far out the handle goes. It's like abnormally large handle, and I kind of love that. One of the downsides of getting pottery mugs I've noticed is that some of them like really transfer heat through the pottery, which is fine because sometimes your hands are cold and that feels awesome. But I really like the big handle. And the width of the handle is also kind of different. So anyways, these details are fun for me. And this mug came from Annapolis Pottery in downtown Annapolis. And I'm drinking Black Rifle coffee because turn it up. I've been trying different coffees lately and I've had a couple of really good ones. One that my husband got me called like Old Salt, another one that came from a farmer's market, Henry's coffee, and they were a little bit more mild. So they were delicious, but like for some reason, Black Rifle coffee is kind of my standard for strongness now. And so I've got a couple new ones that I'm going to be trying over the next couple of weeks. So if you have one that you like, be sure to send it to me. You don't actually have to send me the coffee, but send me the name of the coffee so that I can get some. And I can try it and give you my feedback. So I wanted to share with you some feedback that I gave to a woman who came to Fit Me in the Park last weekend. So Fit Me in the Park is just kind of like a fun little exercise class in the park that a couple of the local Fit Me people do here in Washington. We get together on Saturdays and exercise together in the park. So Fit Me default daily, move every day, and when you can, do it with friends. And so we work out in the park on Saturday mornings. And she asked me a question. She was like, and she's just gotten into working out consistently, like a couple of weeks in, maybe 2 or 3. And so she's been working out 3 or 4 times a week, doing a really great job. And she was telling me that she didn't want to come to class that morning, but she made herself come. And I was like, it's good that you did. I said, you really can't negotiate with yourself in the beginning when you're trying to create a new habit. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you told me that you wanted to start working out consistently and you are. You have been doing it for a couple of weeks, but it tends to not be super reliable as a new fixture in your routine and schedule until you like at least cross that 3-month mark. 3 to 6 months of doing something consistently, you start to get enough confidence around not in doing it, but on how it fits into your life, that if you were to negotiate with yourself some sort of adjustment, like, hey, I'm not going to actually be able to do the 9 a.m. class, but I'm going to go and I'm going to catch a class at my gym at whatever time. You could like make that negotiation and probably follow through on it. But in the beginning, when you are trying to start something new, especially exercise oriented or walking or strength training or going to a class or joining a gym, I highly, highly recommend not negotiating with yourself at all about if you go. Now, that doesn't mean you don't get to have some like adjustment based off of your real life. And so here's what I mean. So say, for example, you sign up for a boot camp class at your local gym because you're like, hey, I'm committed to doing this and I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going. And then one Wednesday morning you wake up and you are like, I am so tired. I do not want to go to class. So you don't want to go. Well, if you're still in that early, less than 3 to 6 month window, you got to go, because otherwise you are compromising the routine. You're going to trick your brain into just removing it altogether from your routine. So here's what I recommend instead. Instead of negotiating whether or not you can go with yourself, I want you to think about it instead as negotiating the intensity that you're going to do. So some days you may, if you're going to do a workout, again, even if it's at home, you don't get to negotiate if you're going to do it. If you've committed to yourself and you're inside of that, beginner window, instead say, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to at least do my 10-minute warm up. And then I'm going to spend, 5 minutes moving, even if it's just really light. I don't necessarily have to do the crazy hard high intensity class, but I'm doing something. And by doing that, you keep the routine in place. You keep your mind in the right zone. And sometimes literally the something that you do might just be to show up. I used to do that with CrossFit when I was pregnant with Georgia because I wanted to keep exercise in my routine and I had to continue to modify it because I was pregnant. And so some days I would show up, and even though I didn't have it in me to do the class, I would simply do some version of what the class was doing. Like I would, sit on a bike and pedal for a while, or, do a couple things with them and then go for a walk. But I kept it in my routine. Now, I wasn't in that beginner 3 to 6 month window, but I was in a time in my life where it would have been easy to lose that routine, and I was aware of it. I was conscious of the fact that during pregnancy, I could remove a lot of the healthy habits that I had worked so hard to put in place, and then they would be like quadruply hard to put back in place after. So maybe that's true for you too. Maybe you're not considering yourself like a beginner in terms of workout or something, but maybe you're in a season of your life where you could be in danger of losing that habit, and you might just need to apply this strategy and just show up. Again, negotiating the intensity with yourself. Like, hey, I'm not going to go full on intense as high as I can go, but I'm going to keep it in my routine. Another important tip around this is that oftentimes if you can just get through the 10-minute warm up, if you can just say, no matter what, I'm going to do 10 minutes. And at the end of that 10 minutes, if I still feel like poo and I don't want to do it, then I can stop. But if I feel better, then I'm going to finish the workout. And by doing that 99% of the time, it's just our own mental headspace. And by doing the warm up, you get over that hump and then you feel better and you're into it. So I wanted to share this with you in case you are in one of these seasons. So in case you're in this, I would call it the beginner window of creating a new routine around something that is challenging for you, like exercise, like walking, like going to a class at a gym, like doing something like that. You're in that new window. It could even be something hard like journaling. It doesn't have to be exercise oriented, but if this is a new habit or routine that you've put in place and you've made a commitment to yourself to do some number of times per week or some number of sessions that you've said, I'm going to that, then you don't get to negotiate whether or not you follow through. Just remove that from the table. What you do get to negotiate is the intensity. So you can show up and bring it way down if you need to. You can amp it up if it's that kind of day. But it should be the very, very rare occasion, almost like a unplanned, super no good emergency day where you're like, it literally can't happen. But it's not a negotiation. It's not like I don't feel like it kind of thing. It's my kid is vomiting and I truly can't go. That's fine. But what I'm saying is I'm more talking about the discussion that we have with ourselves. The I just don't want to. I probably shouldn't. I should probably just get some extra work done. Or if I skip it, then, I can hang with the kids. Or that negotiation is what I'm talking about, where you truly are deciding whether or not to follow through. You do not get to negotiate in that early 3 to 6 months, before 6 months, really. I think, again, even when you're beyond that, you should be aware of it and do that very rarely because you're always putting it in jeopardy. You do that one time, you can get away with it after it's a cemented habit. But if you start to do that 2 or 3 times, you put it in jeopardy. Ultimately, habits and boundaries aren't something that, are like concrete. You put it down and it just stays. We actually have to work at building it. I almost think of it more like as a packed in sand wall where there's water hitting it and kind of constantly trying to erode at our boundaries and habits. And you have to continue to protect it and put more sand on that wall. Otherwise, it's going to be gone. It doesn't just stay there. It's a commitment and a practice and an intention. So anywho, that's my coffee talk message for this morning. I thought it would be helpful to share with you that conversation, that coaching conversation that I had with her in case you need to hear it. And let me know. If coffee talk was helpful for you, then it means a lot to me if you would share this with a friend. Just shoot it to somebody you think would like it or somebody that needs to hear it. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to Fit Me Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. I'm on all of them: Spotify, iTunes, Downcast, all the regular podcast things. And if you're listening on the podcast and are not in the Facebook group, come on over to Fit Me Free Intro. So go to Facebook, search Fit Me Free Intro. It is the one place you do want to be in on Facebook because this is a no mean girl zone. Our values are realness and connection and resiliency. And what we will show you in that group is how to create diet-free, sustainable habit change so that you can feel the best in your body. You can feel like you have a happy and healthy body that you're taking good care of. We show you how to do that, and that's the free place to get started. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.